Good morning, everybody. This is Pete Dahlgren, and building the Mirror Smiles F86, and I want to explain these servo hatches and what it is in the wings. And this is something that is actually pretty important to understand how all this kit goes together. It's actually pretty ingenious, and it's one of these deals. Now, these hatches are designed to be a pinch fit when you come into, you'll notice when you built your wing, you have a substantial plywood base, and I'm going to explain exactly what's going on here. These pieces that come in this kit are the actual spacers that are designed for just about any of the mirror sets airplanes. They're all the same, but the one thing is there are a couple different sizes, and in order to fit them in, this is all glued down now. This is a pinch fit. The servo goes in, and it should look a lot like this. So, and I left a little bit because I refuse to cut off tines off the servos. I don't do that. And basically what you're going to do is you need to have your servo that you're going to use for this. And basically once you have it done, you get it glued down, they will just slide right in. These spacers to the bottom, they will lay flat and to the length, and they will give you the exact perfect centering. Once these are screwed down, that servo ain't moving for nobody. It's never coming loose. So basically what you're doing here is you're going to take the smaller pieces, and this is not glued down, but I'm going to show you because I had a repair I had to do in here. These pieces are not glued in, but it's very important that you have your servo straight. And you can check it in a couple different ways. You can put a square on there, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you what I'm doing on this. And so basically what I'm doing here is I will take these pieces out. Now that I know where they're going, I'll just set them aside. And basically what you need is your servo. Okay, you need to set your servo basically where it's going to go. And you're going to set your hatch down, and you're going to, okay, say it's going right there. This is basically what you want. And then you're going to just eyeball this a little bit and make sure that it's actually centered in from here to here. If you're using aluminum servo arms, they're going to line up just about the same way, but you're going to have to remove a little bit of material just so they don't bind. This is the most important part of it right here, is getting this exactly straight. Now, once you set that down like this and you're sure of where that's going to be, I carefully lay it up, and I'll put a tick mark okay, I got glue on my pencil. And that is the line that I will put in there. It's not really eyeballing it. Remove your servo. And then use this as a square. Okay, make sure it's completely there and you're lined up on your marks. Okay, when you do this, even if that lower mark is off a little bit, that is exactly the line you need to follow. Follow it to the top of the line. And then you can put your servo back in on that line, okay? The next step to that, and the reason you want to do this is because when you install this piece and it just sits down, you want to give it a little bit of breathing room, not a lot, but when you have that down like this, then you can install these two parts like so. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this all at the same time. Then you can check your fit, okay? If that is where it needs to be, then you can drop this down and adjust it to wherever it needs to be. And you will see that this is there, and then you just come back and simply mark this area, and this is for gluing purposes. I don't like getting a lot of extra glue on stuff. Now this, I just simply do that so that I can do that. Then double check the fit. If you like it and it looks like this, then basically what we're doing here, we're going to double check that. This is what that hatch should look like. Okay. You're going to notice a couple areas that aren't there, but what we will do in this, once we're done, we will simply go in and we will use this is why I tell you guys, I don't throw anything away until I'm done. I don't throw any plywood parts away, especially this stuff, because you know what? You're going to find out something. Somewhere in a move, I lost a few of these pieces. I'll simply take and put them on here and make some new ones. And I'm going to need some of the smaller ones as well. And so it's fine. But anyway, you need 4 of these per servo. You need 2 of these per servo. Now you can tack glue this as long as you are paying attention to everything else. You'll notice that with these pieces in here, this servo does not move at all. But what I will do when I come in here, I will secure this with a piece of 2-way tape underneath the servo, just for an insurance policy, and this will never break. You'll never break it ever. And it's a very tried and proven way. And I do the same thing under here, and then I have a different mount for the rudder servo. And I have different mountings for a lot of different things, and I will go through them as I get ready to go and get those all set up. I'm going to go ahead and glue this because I had a spot that I did not get glued under here. So I didn't glue them both yesterday. You can do them both very easily. You can do all 4 just about at the same time and get them done. I'm showing you this for demonstration purposes and just so you guys understand. Now, if you decide that you want to run the servo the other way, you can do that. Okay? And it would be exactly it would be exactly just by going the other way. You can do it the other way as well. I find it easier. I like this area better. If you want them to face the same way, then you can. I'm doing it this way because I want, I just might do that. But anyway, it'd be the same fit up. And it's going to be up to you to figure out what it is. And actually, funny enough, when I look at this, it's going to be up to you to decide what you like better. Main reason I went the other way, guys, is because on the flaps, I want it as far to the middle as I can get it. It's up to you how you do it. This is probably not a problem. I would not fit these upside down like this, because if you do that, I've had guys ask me why not put them in like this. That's not okay. It's too short. You want enough treble because when you put the flat in, it is actually a straight up and down horn, and you want as much travel to get your flaps to work as you can, because these hinges are the G10s, and I will show you exactly why I'm going a little bit longer and why I set them up the way I did. I just got to find one, and I got them out in the shed. Anyway, these are the hinges, and these are kind of like a Fowler type thing, and you're going to have to cut them down a little bit. Now, if you go this way, these will fit in just right. Be mindful, they are going to need to be cut off a little bit. Now, I will actually build, when I get ready to do this, they do actually go this way. Okay, and then your flap is going to work that way. And it's just a very simplified thing. Now, what I will do is I will take and I will actually box these in, so they do just slide right in there. And I will do that by using by 1/4 by 3/8. And I will just simply install it like so. I will cut them in, and I will just absolutely put them in there like that. And you can actually make them a little bit bigger than what they need to be. And if you have to, just put some together and make that so that actually works in there. And I'll show you more about these boxes that I'm making. But this is the material I will be using to make the boxes. And that'll be the next step after that's glued in. And they will simply go in like this, and they will go, there's 5 per side. For this, you can go either way. It's going to be up to you. I prefer to use some 1/2-inch thick balsa and actually just cut a block and mount it in here right where the hinges are going to go. Once that's done, then I will come back and I will actually shim this up. And the reason I'm doing that is because that part sits like this, and I want it to be solid like that. I don't want this to ever flex or break the wing, and that would happen should your gear not come down or something like that. I don't want those ripping a big ass hole in my wing. So we're gonna shim this up, and then I'll show you how I'm blocking that out. And that's only if you're installing the wing tanks. If you're not doing it, then you don't even have any of this. So these are parts that need to be done, and they need to be, it's just one of these things that I'm tending to overbuild a little bit in here. And it really needs to happen that way, because if you don't, you're kind of robbing yourself a little bit. And basically all I'm doing is taking and making shims that will go like this, and I will actually take and I will glue a sheet in here, and then I'm going to true it up and sand it off with the 80 grit, just so that when I do sheet all this out, then it's actually got something to bite on. Because if you look, it looks like, okay, it's not much of a shim. One piece of 30 seconds will work there. You're going to need a couple laminations right there. But this is something that I just don't want extra things, and then you'll sand all that off, of course, and make all that nice and square and flat. These are little tips that I'm telling you now because you don't want to go up and you want to build the wing as solid as possible. We're not adding a bunch of weight. It's just And let me make you guys understand a little bit. When you get in the quarter scale, weight is not a huge issue. A couple of guys have asked me about getting carbon fiber tubes. The weight savings for cost and strength, it's not worth it to go and spend the extra money for carbon fiber, because with this, it doesn't matter. You're on a certain weight, and that's the way it is. And it's just what it is. So it's not worth the extra money to go and buy carbon fiber for a lot of parts. And with as many spars that are in this wing, adding carbon fiber, okay, that's fine. Not really a necessary evil to have in there. And a lot of guys would ask, now if you're going to do it, I'm not even going to mess with it, because it's just, these wings are so strong anyway that I doubt you could break them. You're not building a very fast jet. This airplane will fly fairly slow, so even though it's fully aerobatic and everything else, you're not building, this is not going to be a 200-mile-an-hour airplane that you're going to be pulling lots of snap rolls and major G's. This thing's going to fly very, very, very agile. So it's not going to be something that you're going to need all that extra stuff for. And it's just added expense that you could be putting somewhere else. So you really don't need a lot of that. And beefing it up here and there is a good idea, but not a necessary evil. But anyway, that's enough for now. I'll be back after I get that other hatch done, and we'll start talking about the hinges. Thanks for watching. See you in the funny papers.